Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hi, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
Today we are discussing Deep Space Nine, Season 4, Episode 24, The Quickening. Bashir tries unsuccessfully to cure a plague.
Convinced that he can do so in 1 week.
Which isn't strange for Federation technology.
Yeah, at first I thought, well, that's really arrogant, but then I realized, wait, this is way in the future, stuff is way advanced. Maybe that is reasonable to cure some new disease in a week, as long as you have this technology available to you.
I think he was supposed to be being arrogant, but I'm not sure how arrogant he was being.
It's hard to judge that because we don't know the rate at which they cure this kind of stuff. Maybe this is mundane.
Well, he gave an example. He said that they cured a plague before, and they had it cured within an hour or something like that.
Okay, I forgot about that. And that sets the expectation of, okay, this shouldn't be a big deal.
He should have got funny when they mentioned it was engineered by the Dominion. He didn't take that on board very well, but whenever they've messed with Dominion tech, they've not managed to sort of solve the problems it arises.
That's a good point. He's already tried to battle their engineering in this kind of arena.
Yeah, wait, in fact, every time he's met against Dominion genetic engineering, he's been absolutely trounced by it. So as soon as they said it's been engineered by the Dominion, he should have said, oh.
At least acknowledged it.
Yeah, he's just like, big deal.
This is the one.
Handled that all the time. Never won though, but oh well. So I suppose he was being arrogant in that regard.
So he was being arrogant, but not in the way the show presented it. Close enough.
Yes. In fact, it's weird when he first turns up to Trevain's clinic and he's like, go away, we used to be really advanced and we couldn't figure it out. Get out of here. But he has no idea how advanced the Federation are.
They couldn't possibly be more advanced.
Yeah, they could be so advanced that Dominion stuff is like a joke to them. But he just says, oh, go away. Which I thought was a bit silly. He probably would have said, yeah, feel free to try and solve it. But, being pessimistic.
I could understand Bashir's frustration as far as the pessimism and they're not willing to try to find a cure. But it was weird to me that he thought it was so bad that Trevain wanted to spare these people from pain that he was offering them essentially assisted suicide. I guess the Federation is against that because of his reaction.
Yeah, this is a complicated bit you've brought up. I think the Federation probably would be in favor of euthanasia, or at least a bit in favor of it. But I'm not sure they would have been welcomed to make a show where the main characters are totally cool with euthanasia. You might note that the word euthanasia, or even the term palliative care, was not used at any point. They were kind of skirting around that issue a little bit.
They skirt around it, which makes it strange. I get the impression that Bashir would prefer those people died in a horrible pain or endured horrible pain until they died.
They kind of framed it in that Bashir thought they were just an hour away from saving them, but that became blatantly untrue at the point when the EM fields cause everyone to quicken at once. And I don't know, I don't think they wanted to have Bashir say to Trevelyan, okay, euthanizing those people was probably the right thing to do, because I don't think they want to make a show with a character with such views. That would be quite forward-thinking. Even today, that would be a bit forward-thinking. So instead, for the second half of the episode, Bashir just sort of is okay with Trevelyan and doesn't really moan at him anymore. This whole episode was basically Bashir being taken down a peg again and again.
But what did you think overall, revisiting this one?
Oh, I love this episode. It's one of my favorites. Partially because the set pieces are amazing on this one.
They are, and they did a great job with the lesions and the makeup on these poor people.
Some of that was not actually makeup. Some of it was computer effects. One of the very earliest instances of using, the tracer dots on people's faces.
Oh, okay.
Place effects in position. Okay, the majority were makeup, of course.
Still, it was enhanced.
Yeah. The whole look of this episode is fantastic. I'm so glad that they actually put effort into making something that looked really alien for a change, instead of it being a tiny village that's clearly a soundstage, or bloody cave set, which they use every other episode.
It makes a difference. It really feels like a new place in that it's been lived in, instead of a slightly redressed set that we've seen over and over.
Yeah, it looks absolutely fab. And the plot is nice. It's a classic sort of sci-fi angle. Got the mishmash of technology and people's lives. So it's a good sci-fi plotline, and it's well made. Tugs at the heartstrings a little bit. It reminds me a little bit of Children of Men towards the end with the baby.
All right, I didn't make that connection, but that's
kind of. It's a film that came out 2 decades after this episode, so. But they're both good in the same way, in that they have plot lines around a baby.
And they both involve really dire situations, and then end with, I guess spoilers for Children of Men, end with a bit of hope.
There's more to Children of Men than that.
Yeah, but people are so sensitive.
I like the bittersweet ending as well. It's clever to make a vaccine that works on the kids, and see Bashir up at night back on Deep Space Nine, working away with all that weighing down on his mind. Because Bashir is such a sort of smug, uppity guy. He always wins. And the cases where he hasn't won in the past, it's usually not his fault. So here he just loses big time. And that is good, because that develops his character. Maybe?
It does.
Oh, it does.
Another way this episode develops his character is through Dax translating everything he says. I love this. They did it a few times throughout the episode. It's sprinkled throughout. He can't help himself. He has to speak in this elevated manner and these technical jargon terms, and he does not take into account his audience, and that's totally something Bashir would do. I'm a genius and I'm going to show it off. And I love that Dax is there and she would know better. She's been around. She knows how to communicate. She knows effective communication skills. And I'm glad she didn't say something like, I've been around for 300 years. I know how to talk to people. So that was good too.
In 8 lifetimes, I've been around for 300 years.
And I know how to translate your nonsense. But he would do that to try to impress people, not realizing that it would silently make them resent him because he would come off as condescending.
He's been doing that for the best part of 4 seasons. So, yes. I like that this episode made him vulnerable. He's not the whiz doctor. He also talked about his teddy bear, Kukalaka.
Aw.
Which he still has.
It works well when Bashir is vulnerable, and this is an excellent episode to make that claim.
Yes, the plot armor comes off a little bit. You don't want plot armor. Well, you kind of do, but you don't want it to be seen. I have a slight criticism for this episode.
Go on.
The medical stuff that was real medical stuff was not very good at all.
Such as?
Bashir's CPR looked like a leisurely chest rub. And when Igoroya was having a baby, birth is always badly depicted on television or in film. But this was fairly unconvincing.
As far as the CPR, I give that a pass because I don't really care if it looks convincing. I just know it's shorthand for this is a last-ditch effort. Things are going badly. It's so universal now, and you see it in so many shows.
But it's bad. For example, if they had a laser gun and it made like a horn sound when they fired it, you would say that's bad. They shouldn't do that. It's breaking the immersion of the show.
But not every show does that. That's why that would stick out.
Or like it's a cop show and they have guns, but instead of the guns making a sound effect, the actors say bang, bang, bang when they fire them. You wouldn't say, yes, they're demonstrating that they're firing the gun. You would say, what the hell's going on with this?
If every show did that, you would eventually accept it.
But I wouldn't.
There's plenty of stuff like that that's accepted.
You're probably right. Most people would accept it.
That's just how guns work. Bang, bang.
Okay, there's a lot of stuff like that is accepted.
Like grenades having massive explosions, or opening a lock by shooting it, or sound in space. There's plenty of stuff.
Oh, one of my favorites. People not finishing drinks.
Or not saying goodbye on a phone.
Oh yeah, that's a classic. Okay, fair enough. You win on the CPR issue. Plus, it's actually very dangerous to do actual CPR on someone who doesn't need actual CPR. So if they want to make it realistic, usually they have to get a fake chest.
And that's already way too much trouble than it's worth.
Yeah. They could just say, oh, I'm going to perform CPR, but wait, this alien's heart is in his leg. And then they could go to town on the guy's leg. That's not dangerous.
He did mention the physiology was quite different.
I think he said totally different, yet he's able to act as a midwife with extremely basic instruments and knows everything about pre- and postnatal care. It would be much funnier if she was giving birth and then he says, I can see the head, and then she gives one last push and he just lifts up a big egg. And he's like, oh, okay, it's an egg. Wasn't expecting that.
Maybe I should have read up on you guys. I must compliment the woman who played the pregnant woman. She was perfectly cast here. She has this excellent mix of hope in her eyes and despair. And when she talks about wanting to kiss her son's scraped knee and trying to smile through some pain, oh, it was really touching.
She was great. Was she actually pregnant?
Oh, I don't know. She convincingly rubbed her belly like I've seen a lot of pregnant women do.
The thing that made me think she might actually have been pregnant was the belly scene, because that looked very much like a pregnant belly. Well, I don't know. It doesn't say on the wiki, so we may never know.
I also loved the awe in her face when she was offered to see a picture of her baby. That's commonplace now, but it's still magical to me. Maybe it's not to others.
Oh
But-
no, that was right in the heartstrings.
Yeah,
No,
it's
not full on tears. No way, not that close, but there was a spark of emotion there. The look on her face. That was good. Did you know this episode was directed by Odo?
I did notice that. I usually don't pay attention to the credits because they are largely the same. But then I saw his name pop up and it made me wonder, oh, how many has he directed before? I don't know why I noticed on this one. Is this his first?
No, he previously directed Hippocratic Oath, the one with Granigar and the other Jemadars, which is another Bashir-centric episode.
I think you brought that up when we talked about that one.
Yeah, there's a few of the actors that also direct. Riker directs a lot of them, so does Geordie. But these are next-gen characters, that maybe doesn't mean a lot to you. LeVar Burton from Reading Rainbow.
Got it.
And Riker from that one episode, Defiant.
Where he rips his goatee. Or no.
No, it's mutton chops.
The mutton chops, yes. Leaves the beard, removes the mutton chops.
The beard is real. It's always real with Riker.
His secret is that he's always bearded.
Never watch Next Gen. You'll be disappointed in the first season.
Oh no!
I need to ask you if you have a quote, but I'm going to guess that your quote is come to Quarks. Quarks is fun. Come to Quarks. Don't walk, run.
It is not that, but I want to talk about that scene. Another instance of DS9's abysmal security.
Yeah, that's surprising they aren't overwhelmed with Bonsai Buddy and Ask toolbars and stuff. I like the humor, though. I think Worf actually makes the show a lot funnier because he is the perfect straight man in a comedy scene.
Yes.
He could not be more poker-faced.
1,000 times, yes.
About everything. They should make a Star Trek comedy show with Worf. It would probably be okay. No, well, it'd probably be terrible, but I'd watch it. So, do you have a quote?
Yes. It's not a crime to believe in yourself, Julian.
That's Dax trying to fine-tune Bashir's arrogance to the right level.
The correct operating level. What the manual recommends.
You have to be the right level of arrogance so that the Federation technology and knowledge can back you up. If you get too arrogant, then you will just come off as unbelievably arrogant. And if you are not arrogant enough, you'll come off as fishing for compliments.
But you could also temper that arrogance with some warmth, and then you just come off as confident. Charismatically confident.
Teaching Bashir warmth and charisma is probably more than a one-episode speech. He has charm. Just his own kind of charm.
That special Bashir variety. His bedside manner is lacking, though.
It's okay. If he was my doctor, I'd be okay with it.
He comes off as competent, and you would think, okay, this guy's getting the job done, but he could be a bit more human about it.
Have you seen House MD?
I have not.
Okay, well, if you think Bashir's bedside manner is anywhere near bad, watch House.
Oh, one quick thing. I had a moment of confusion during this episode.
Oh, goody.
There's a moment where this woman is dying and she's crying out Trevian. I thought she was saying Julian. So then I was so confused why he moved aside, and then
I had the same thought. I expected Bashir to say, "Did you say Julian or Trevian?" Their names are too similar. That was confusing to me. Not actually confusing, but I sort of had simulated confusion in my mind. The guy's name is Trevian. It's an anagram of veteran.
I did not pick up on that.
And Igoria is an anagram of rookie, except it's not, because they changed it from Ekoria to Igoria when the script was rewritten. Anagram facts.
The best.
Hold on.
Are you making an anagram?
Yeah, hold on. So this episode was about a disease.
Yes.
Okay. This is one of the silliest things I've said on this podcast, but guess what you get if you take an anagram of neediest pox?
I don't know.
You get next episode.
Let's go to the next episode then.
Okay. It's also an anagram of seeped toxin.
Ooh,
and
nice.
detox is pine.
Not as nice.
And dope 16.
Dope 16.
And need 6 poet.
All right. I think we're good. Let's dope 16.
Denote sex pie.
Are you good?
No deep exits.
No deep exits. I'm just repeating things you're saying.
You should say something like, okay, we're done.
All right, we're done.
Come to Quark's Crush is fun. Come right now, don't walk, run!
Oh, I love the part where my name rotates around.